time travel. I mean, it's a concept that just grabs you, right? The idea of seeing history with your own eyes, or getting a peek at the future. It's the stuff of our biggest dreams and our greatest stories. But what if it's more than just a story? Today we're going to dig into where this incredible idea came from and what the actual laws of physics have to say about it.
Okay, let's be honest. Who hasn't daydreamed about this? What would you do? Go back and warn yourself about that terrible haircut? See the dinosaurs? Or maybe jump 1,000 years into the future just to see how it all turns out? This what if is exactly why we're so obsessed with the idea of bending time.
And for well over a century, fiction has been our playground for this stuff. It all kind of kicked off with H.G. Wells, who gave us that iconic image of a literal machine, a contraption built to travel through the years. Then you get stories like A Sound of Thunder that made us all paranoid about the consequences, the whole butterfly effect idea. And of course, pop culture gave us heroes like Doctor Who, turning the time traveler into this swashbuckling adventurer. But okay, let's step away from the movies and into the lab, because here's the amazing part. Modern physics doesn't just laugh off the idea of time travel. Actually, for one direction on the timeline, it pretty much gives it a green light. And it all starts with one man, Albert Einstein.
Einstein completely flipped our understanding of the universe on its head with his theory of special relativity. See, he figured out that space and time aren't two separate things at all. Nope, they're woven together into this four-dimensional fabric he called space-time. And in this fabric, there is one absolute unbreakable speed limit, the speed of light. Nothing goes faster, period.
So here's where it gets really, really weird. That number you're looking at, 99.5%, that represents getting incredibly close to that universal speed limit. And as you get closer and closer, the laws of physics reveal this bizarre little loophole. Time itself actually starts to slow down for you compared to everyone you left behind. And this right here shows you just how insane that effect, called time dilation, really is. Imagine you leave Earth when you're 30 and you go on a 5-year trip at that mind-boggling speed. When you get back, you've aged just 5 years. You're 35. But on Earth, 50 years have passed. Your old classmates are now 80. You have literally jumped 45 years into the future. This is not science fiction. This is a real, measurable consequence of Einstein's theories. So let's get this straight. Traveling forward in time is theoretically possible. Now, it would take an unimaginable amount of energy, but the physics actually works. But that's only half the story, isn't it? What about going backwards? Well, that is where things get so much messier. Because the second you start talking about visiting the past, you slam face first into a giant logical brick wall. It's a problem so famous, it even has its own name, the grandfather paradox. So here's the classic setup. You build your time machine, you go back, and you kill your own grandfather before he ever meets your grandmother. The result? Your own parent is never born, which means, well, you are never born. But wait, if you were never born, who just went back in time and killed Grandpa? You see the problem? It's an impossible self-destructing loop. Each step cancels out the one that came before it. It's a complete contradiction that seems to make messing with the past totally impossible because the cause, you, is erased by its own effect. Now, a paradox that big seems like a game ender, right? But theoretical physicists, they are a clever bunch, and they've come up with some seriously mind-bending ways around it. A few cosmic loopholes that might just solve the whole problem. There are two main theories here. The first is called the self-consistency principle. This one says the past is set in stone. It's already happened and you can't change it. Sure, you could go back, but the universe itself would stop you from causing a paradox. Your gun would jam, you'd trip, something would happen. The other idea is the many worlds interpretation. This one says that your action of going back in time actually splits reality, creating a whole new parallel universe. So yeah, you could kill a grandfather, but it wouldn't be your grandfather, it'd be the one in this new timeline, leaving your own history safe and sound. Okay, so let's just say we find a way around the paradoxes. How in the world would you actually build a machine to get to the past? Well, the theoretical blueprints for that are even crazier than the paradoxes themselves. One of the leading ideas is something called a wormhole. Now, forget the swirling vortexes from the movies. In real physics, a wormhole is theorized to be a literal tunnel through space-time, a shortcut connecting one place to another. But how do you turn a space shortcut into a time shortcut? Well, the theory goes that you'd take one end of the wormhole and accelerate it to nearly the speed of light, then bring it back. Because of time dilation, that same effect we talked about earlier, time for the moving end would have passed much slower. So you could have one end of the wormhole in the year 2050 and the other end still back in 2030. Step through one way, you go to the future. Step through the other, you're in the past.
And that's not the only crazy idea on the table. There's also the Tipler cylinder. This is a hypothetical, infinitely long, super dense cylinder spinning at almost the speed of light. The idea is that its rotation would be so powerful, it would literally drag space-time around with it, creating these pathways that could loop you right back into your own past. Now, these are incredible ideas, but they come with gigantic problems. Some of the greatest physicists have argued that even if you could theoretically build these things, the universe might just have its own security system to keep history safe.
And this brings us to an idea from the great Stephen Hawking called the chronology protection conjecture. He basically suggested that the laws of physics themselves, maybe quantum effects we don't even understand yet, would step in and prevent time travel to the past from ever happening, protecting the universe from paradoxes. Now, this might sound like just a neat idea, but scientists have actually kind of tested it. They ran a quantum simulation where they applied the logic of the grandfather paradox to tiny particles of light, called photons, sending them on a path where they could essentially block their own past selves. And the results were fascinating. The simulation found that the closer a photon got to successfully creating a paradox, to terminating its past self, the higher the probability that the whole experiment would just fail. It's almost like nature itself has a built-in defense mechanism against these logical contradictions. So where does all this leave us? Well, this quote really sums it up perfectly. We're in this weird middle ground. There is absolutely zero proof that we can build a working time machine. But, and this is a huge but, physicists also haven't found any single unbreakable law of the universe that says you can't. The debate is still very much open. Which leaves us with the ultimate question, doesn't it? Is the past a fixed story that's already been written, set in stone for all time? Or is it more like a draft where the ink is still wet, just waiting for someone or something to come along and change it? For now, that answer remains one of science's greatest unsolved mysteries.